Hey, Vsauce! Michael here.
Who is Elon Musk, and why is he significant? To keep things short and sweet, he's a businessman who started several companies and is a billionaire. You guys might have heard of SpaceX's Bangabangdu, big rockets, or more likely Spaceman and his Tesla Roadster. All various projects from SpaceX, a company owned by Elon Musk. But why is a businessman launching rockets when that's typically done by the government? That's what's known as privatization, a transfer of public government-controlled sectors to private ownership. So why has privatization happened to the space sector? The answer lies within a federal agency, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. NASA is funded by the budget, and founded in 1958, blew up during the Cold War. As seen here, NASA's budget as a percentage to the total budget peaked in about 1966, where about 4.5% of the US's total budget, nearly $5.9 billion, was allotted for NASA. And then, ever since 1990, NASA's budget has gone down to less than 0.5% of the total US budget. This is an inconsistency, something that is a huge problem for projects within NASA, especially since they rely on many other private companies all working together like Lockheed and Boeing. That's where privatization comes in. In the US, it has only developed in the most recent decades, starting with the Commercial Space Act of 1984. This act, signed by our good friend Ronald Reagan, was the first step, legalizing commercial launches. And slowly, throughout administrations, the space industry began to be less and less government and more private. A huge reason for privatization is that private companies are much less constrained by politics and public opinion, compared to, for example, NASA's funding, which has to be approved by Congress as a part of the budget. Another big argument against programs like NASA is the fact that presidents can often cancel programs and, in the process, waste lots of resources and money. Take the Constellation Project, or CXP, for example, started by George W. Bush. This was a planned manned lunar landing, projected to take place before 2020. When it was terminated in 2009 by Obama, it was estimated to have wasted over $230 billion. Finally, private companies can afford to take more risks. More risks tend to yield more rewards, and as the engineers at SpaceX have found out, tends to inspire new ways to problem solve. Even though they may fail to land their rockets tens of times, keeping at it will eventually work out. Comparatively, when the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster occurred, NASA's shuttle program was put on hold for a few years, considering how the public viewed the incident. Because of all of these setbacks, space privatization is good for the sector, especially as changing politics and administrations have different outlooks on space, which may change every 4 years. On the other hand, private industry will, for quite a long time, stay controlled by those with economic power. So for now, NASA will become increasingly less prevalent, and companies like SpaceX, Boeing, and Virgin Galactic will keep pioneering our aerospace future. And, like always, thanks for watching.